Let's bring in our guest, Ms. Ologbondiyan is a member of the ADC, joins us from our Abuja studios. Ms. Ologbondiyan, thank you for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Geoffrey. Good morning.
There's a lot to unpack with you as far as the state of the nation is concerned. Well, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has rattled the system with his expose in terms of his article, which have been asking questions. The federal government has responded to it, saying that what happened was not about any form of extra budgetary spending. It was more of the timing, the comprehensiveness of that report. And that's coming from the Honorable Minister of Finance. I don't know whether I would like to speak to that, but beyond all of that, the time we're beginning to approach when it will hit a crescendo as far as the politics of 2027 is concerned. And the challenge here is that it looks like, does it feel, let me ask the question this way, does it feel like the opposition is really giving us alternative policy ideas to be able to say, okay, maybe the people that support the opposition will consider them, or they are just trying to survive?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Geoffrey. Let's start from where you began. On the issue of 8.8 trillion extra budgetary fund, I think that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar was acting upon the position of the IMF World Bank. I don't think that it was a concocted story. No. I think what he said was predicated on what is already in public space. So he was just reacting to what is in public space. But having said that, I believe it's the duty of government. If the position of the IMF World Bank is divergent from what they believe is official, I think they should respond to the messenger, not the person who is responding. If the position, which what I believe government should do, if the position of that global group is not in tandem with what they believe to be the official position, they should go and respond to where the source of the story, the source of the news, not coming to address somebody who, in his own opinion, believes that that action is wrong. So that's what I would like to say. But having said that, I don't think that the opposition has given up at all. I don't think so. I think the opposition is just building. And when it reaches that crescendo that you spoke to, Nigerians will know if the opposition is prepared or is not prepared.
Mr. Ologbondiyan, I was just going to ask perhaps where your principal got, what is the source of that 8.8 trillion naira? That was my first question. I was going to ask that question. Where's the source, please?
But that's what I've said now, that he was responding to what the IMF World Bank published.
They didn't mention 8.8 trillion naira. They didn't mention, so that's why I'm asking where he got his own figures from.
Who did he mention?
The IMF, they didn't mention figures.
Oh, that means, well, if you say they didn't mention figures, what then did they mention? Because what Atiku responded to was the report of the IMF.
All right. Well, let's leave that and talk about.
That's why I said, Geoffrey. That's why I said that if the government believes that what the IMF brought out is wrong, they should address the IMF.
Yeah, we understand.
Not the person who responded to the message.
You're on the other side of things now, so I understand you have to keep them on their toes. It's just that we just wanted to be sure of His Excellency Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's source of the allegations that he's making. I thought perhaps you should be in the know. But because you're on the other side of things, the opposition camp, so when you look at all of what has played out, I mean, there's also the allegations, the scandal around the chief of staff, the SGF, and one man called Adeyemi. How is the opposition also looking at this situation as well?
Well, I think that every opposition political party has had one thing or the other to say on the issue of the Adeyemi's office, or fictitious office, as the government loves to put it. I think every opposition political party has responded to that. And the question the opposition political parties are bringing forth is very simple. If you are saying that the office is fictitious, then how did the office have the opportunity, the strength, the capacity to swim through every institution of governance if it had no official recognition? How did it get an office? Who posted staff to the department or to the agency? So I think these are the issues that Nigerians are questioning. And I think that is why Nigerians are asking or saying that the chief of staff to the president, with whom Adeyemi or Adeniyi or Matthew or whatever his name is, began this spar, should be able to say, okay, you go and face investigation. But the chief of staff should be asked to step aside so that the presidency can truly look into the matter, whether by setting up a forensic group that will investigate the entire thing, or either by setting up a group that has a forensic knowledge to investigate the whole matter, or even asking the chief of staff to stand aside and allow the presidency itself to investigate itself. So I think what Nigerians are bothered about is the decision by the special advisor to the president of media to come out on his own and throw out a statement in the public. And I think that has even done more damage than the situation that was existing.
Mr. Ologbondiyan, let's stay with this issue because it looks like an issue that is not going away. And so there's a lot of pressure. Some are even calling for the stepping aside, as you stated, of Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, who is the chief of staff. I don't know whether there's a call for the SGF as well, but at least for Femi Gbajabiamila, you have been around. I don't know whether you served in government, but you've been around. You understand how these things work. What is confusing and difficult to say, because I'm trying to not to get to the substantive issues, which is difficult because the issue they say is already in court. People are saying, besides decision of court, this has to be probed independently. Is there any possibility? Now, I'm literally trying to play the devil's advocate for the government. Permit me to do that for a moment. Is there any possibility that someone could have three things happen that he can do it on his own? Three major things is difficult to defend, but let's just put it and for the purpose of argument. First, being able to have an office at the federal secretariat. It's not a shopping mall like our guest said this morning. Second, having a budgetary allocation earmarked, not in MDAs. It's not like a ministry of this, ministry of that, in the presidency, part of State House budget. Third, if you know what it takes to open an account with the CBN, which is the government's banker. So these are the three things that I have listed to say, is there a possibility that this can happen without collusion?
Okay, Geoffrey, thank you very much. There is no way, and that's why I like the ending of your question, without collusion. There is no way in governance that this can happen without collusion. Number one, like you rightly asked, how will he get an office in the federal secretariat? If that were true, how will he begin to write a memo to the office of the SGF? And the office of the SGF will be acting upon the memo that he's sending to that office. It's an impossibility without collusion. How on earth will he have a budget submitted to the budget office, returned to the National Assembly, to pass through appropriation process and be approved? How will he get to the government, to the presidency itself, and the president will append his signature? I think Nigerians are truly being taken on the ride, because people believe that whatever they say is law. And you know, there's this syndrome about us in this country, particularly those people who go into government. They will say nothing they happen. Nothing they happen. So they do whatever they wish, they do what they like, under the pretext of nothing they happen. And that is why, you recall, when we started screaming in the ADC, that Gbajabiamila gave a standing instruction to a member of the House of Rep, my brother Aleke Abejide, to go and destroy another political party. There was no denial because nothing they happened. until the courts intervene. So these are the challenges. Those who have been elected, and we've said this over and over, those who have been elected into office must go to office with a mindset of accountability. Where that is lacking, people do what they wish, they act the way they want. But whether you want to be accountable or not, accountability on its own will come back to haunt you. And that's what is happening in this situation. Because, Geoffrey, there is no way from what we are reading, from what the Adeyemi or Matthew, from what he is saying in public space, there's no way that government can claim not to know. There's no way that government can come out and say that it is fictitious. It's even laughable for government to come out and say, for the president to come out and say it's fictitious. Oh, so which means that you have no check process, which means that any idiot, I'm sorry to use this word, can just come up and say that, oh, I'm a special advisor to the president, and he will be given official recognition. I mean, there's a lot missing, Geoffrey. And it is very, 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 very painful that upon all the banditry that has been imposed on this country, that we can have a situation like what government is, like what the federal government, what the presidency is telling us. We have a situation in which an individual, without a seal of government, will come out and send budget to the National Assembly.
All right.
1.3 billion in the 2026 budget, and the National Assembly will approve it, and it will go to the presidency, and the presidency and the Mr. President will append the signature. I mean, I just cannot fathom what is happening to this country, honestly.
Well, Mr. Ologbondiyan, that's my exact position as well. I cannot fathom it as well. But I also remember that you used to be in the PDP as well. What's the difference between this kind of perhaps weighty allegations of corruption that we are seeing now? How is this any different from what we experienced in your time as when the PDP was in power? And how does that make the ADC any different if the ADC does get a chance in 2027?
You see, Geoffrey.
Kelly.
When I watch football, when I watch football, and a player who's at the goalpost is playing back their football, it always gets me jittery. It is attempt to go back to the PDP days, almost 12 years down the line, is disturbing. Because when you were coming to government, you said PDP didn't do well, that's why you were coming. You even have a phantom political theory of change. That's what you brought. And now, you have shifted from change to renewed hopelessness. That's where we are. But what is happening today, Kenny, is worse than what we witnessed in time past when we have said we came to correct the situation. So we have even moved from all forms of banditry to governance banditry. What can be worse than that? So when we talk about the issue of corruption, what is the difference? The difference is in the fact that this government said they were coming to change the situation in the past. And rather than change the situation of the past and get glorified by the ordinary people, they have done worse form of things to the people.
Mr. Ologbondiyan.
And then Nigerians, you ask a question now, let me answer it.
Okay.
Let me answer your question.
Go ahead.
Now, Nigerians are beginning to ask the question, is this how is this the way it's going to be? And there's nobody to provide the answer. Unless and until Nigerians should take that hard decision to say that if 12 years is like this, only God knows what 16 years will be like, and make it and duly make a change that will be better than what we have currently.
Mr. Ologbondiyan, I think there's enough argument, analysis that is going on as far as what has happened, especially with this, what the government describes as fictitious agency within the presidency. So Nigerians are really hard on the government to give a satisfactory explanation. I don't know whether they have. But let's talk about politics and 2027. So we don't lose sight of the big game. The big day is in January 2027, when all of Nigerians will file out across the country to make a decision whether or not to keep President Bola Tinubu's job or to look for someone else. Well, you have pitched your tent as one of those who say it's not done well, that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar should be his natural replacement to continue and build in Nigeria. But with what is going on in terms of the battlegrounds of litigations, an inability perhaps of the opposition to be able to pull out enough alternative that Nigerians can rally around to say, okay, this is what the opposition is putting forward. Maybe or maybe not. It's going to be better than what President Bola Tinubu has put forward. Whatever President Bola Tinubu has put forward now, is what he's sustaining. It's not changing. It doesn't look like it's going to change. It's doubled down on it. All he's asking for is understanding. So do you think you're making enough inroad into the hearts of Nigerians ahead of 2027? That's my question.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't know whether it's Geoffrey now. Okay,
it's me, Jeff.
But okay, thank you, Geoffrey. Okay, I think that the opposition has been assailed. For instance, I was in Lagos at the weekend, and people were laughingly saying that, oh, Tinubu is dealing with you people. So I asked a simple question: is Tinubu dealing with us, or is dealing with Nigerians? They were honest. They accepted that he's dealing with Nigerians. Because it's not about parties now. It's about even rescuing the country. It's about salvaging the country in the interest of the people. Geoffrey, I don't know whether you will recall, and I've done this argument in several places. On May 29, 2023, when President Bola Ahmed Tinubu introduced subsidy, absolute subsidy removal, I went on there on this very platform and I said, no, this is wrong. I said that we do not have the capacity to absorb the consequence of the absolute subsidy removal. You ought to have adopted what Atiku preached, which is a phased process, not taking the subsidy in absolute terms. But face it, let it be a gradual thing, so that Nigerians will be going into it gradually. But they dismissed it and went into it absolutely. But I also told the presidency then, well, this is your action. It will hurt Nigerians, but it will hurt your government more. And that's what is happening today. Because I still say it, I still insist, even though the governors of my party then, the governors in my party then, expressed displeasure, they were not happy with what I was saying, but that was the reality for me, and that's where I understood it. You cannot come and take all our money and give it to governors, and now you are telling us to go back to those governors. Where are we going to find them? Where? The impact that governance should have, the shock absorbers that governance should create, because governance essentially is about the people, it's about their welfare, it's about their security.
Okay.
Now you have taken that away from us with the people, and you say that, oh, you are giving money in trillions to governors. Even the federal government is also through you is taking its own, and now we have been pushed to the edge because we don't have no access. Nigerians don't have access. It is easy to come on air and say, go and address your governors, go and talk to your governors. Where are you going to find them? Where?
Perhaps in their states.
The people in the House of Assembly the people in the House of Assembly who should speak for the people, they themselves have been kept in abeyance. The ones in the National Assembly here, if the Senate President says that whatever they bring, they will pass. What's left? So these are the challenges. So whatever, I still hold on to Atiku's campaign in 2023, where he said clearly, yes, subsidy should be removed, but it must be phased. And I recall him saying that Obasanjo started it, they started it, it went to Jonathan time, but thereafter it was abandoned.
All right, Mr.
You understand? So I believe that Nigerians need to come to a conclusion on their mind.
All right.
And the conclusion is very simple. This government, this APC has not helped this country. That's a fact.
All right.
Sit down, take a decision. And I don't like to listen, sorry, Geoffrey, I don't like to listen to the argument of he was not in power, he got it, is it now that he's in power? No, you go out and perform your own responsibility first when the time comes. Go and do your own duty first when the time comes.
Well, as we build to the crescendo of campaigns, these are the questions we ask, and we hope that when we call for debates by candidates, everybody will come out. Because some of us who are journalists, we're not interested in what you guys go to campaign grounds to say. It's just hallelujahing. That's what we call it. Let's have proper debate, alternative ideas, and see who is better and who Nigerians will choose. But I must thank you, Mr. Ologbondiyan, member of the ADC, formerly National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. I almost said defunct PDP, and I remember there's still PDP. With respect, there's still PDP.
Jovi, don't push me. Don't push me into what I don't know anything about.
Thank you for coming, Kelly.
Thank you very much.
Oh my days.